Alright, good morning and happy Saturday, July 6th. We finished our page. There's the color version of the whole page. I think I actually showed that on screen. Whoops. What I did show you is I've got page 2 now roughed out, and it's very rough. Unfortunately, it's so rough I don't have the character designs for 3 of the characters. He's going to go into this sort of common room in the mission, and where people are kind of waiting for him, and we're kind of going to lay out some characters. The fun part of this comic, the action part of this comic, will later on when they go out to the ruins and encounter some of the cool encounters that are going to be out there. For example, I have these cactus people and these ants, and I have a plot line with this character right here named Eli. Eli's got some kind of dark secret. I think that's the first thing I'm going to do, is the Eli story. But I don't have any character designs at all for any of these 3 characters. I guess I've got a partial for her. My idea for this character, I know she has long hair. I had kind of thought I would do her a little bit like, at least in the face, maybe try and get her to look a little bit like Yvonne Craig, but I don't know if I've quite got that. She's a little bit of an opportunist. She's kind of like she wants to get rich quick. Then there's Cora here, who I had kind of envisioned as a little bit like Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke. If you remember that show. I can't remember who the actress was on that. Who was the actress from Miss Kitty? Amanda Blake. So that was. She always had this kind of piled, curly hairstyle. We can we can do her with a closed mouth. She doesn't actually have a line. We have Cora doesn't really believe in this, she says, but we don't have her actually saying that. We just have kind of like a voiceover. And I was thinking some kind of frilly. I'm not sure if I know how to draw that kind of collar. Sometimes it helps to get out some photo reference. Eli, who's going to become somewhat kind of important. It's going to be somewhat important because he's going to be sort of the subject of the first little story in here. He's going to be cursed by lycanthropy. He's a were-rat. Alright, here's Selena. She's going to have kind of a smirk. I haven't got a good costume for her yet. Here's what we could do. We could do like a... I think ladies wear these sort of long sleeve dresses. Maybe she's got a book or something. Most of these I kind of pulled right off of the Wally Woods 22 panels. This is a down shot with a cast shadow, you know. This one is where we have the partial head in the background. Sister Maria. This is just a tableau, but we could call this almost like a depth shot because we're going to have them coming in the door here. And I might go real dark on this one, like make this real dark. So we get a lot of contrast around her. And then the big head scene. Alright, well without further ado, I guess we're going to go ahead and at least try and do the panel borders and see if we can start inking it. And there's that and that. Having your panel borders on their own layer is just good policy. Because a lot of times I'm going to draw past the panel border, and I want to be able to erase it without having to redraw and line everything up. I've also started using, you can see I've got a broken line border here. I've started using my rusty nib for the panel borders, which before I would just use Technical Pen. But I think it kind of lends itself to the analog line quality that we're looking at. I may have mentioned, I'm in this Ryan Benjamin class right now. Ryan Benjamin is a great teacher. Tough critic. Teaching an important skill. And it kind of defines the look of, this is going to sound bad, what I consider to be over-rendered comics. Him and David Finch both. You know, the anatomy's all there. Even the posing and storytelling is all there, but it's like there's so much line work going on. There's so much rendering going on. I think it's very tough for a lot of people. But it's also tough to follow the storyline when you got so much going on visually. You gotta leave some space. You gotta leave some room for the story to take place. You know, the synthesis of both drawing and storytelling going on. In fact, the storytelling should be in the drawing, obviously. All right, let's take a look what we got here. Not everyone would agree with me on that. I'm learning what I can in the class, and like I said, I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. He was, you know, he looked at my stuff and he said, "I like what you got here." But when I'm looking at the standards of some of the people who are really good, like I'm nowhere near there. All right, let me take a look. Chop, chop, chop. It looks like we're good. That means we're going to set up a layer now for inking. And let's Tylett ink. I actually want to use a different... I'm not going to use Rusty Nib for the inking, or at least all the inking. We're going to use one of the inking brushes. Oops. It's still under Rusty Nib. But it's Classic Brush Liner Rough. Classic. Alright. I'm going to start by trying to get this horse. I didn't do it. I didn't do an amazing job on the horse, I'm just going to go ahead and admit. One of the things I do really like about the Ryan Benjamin style is it isn't as meticulous as a lot of people would have you believe. It isn't as tight. As I think it's made out to be. In fact, he kind of says the opposite. He says, do this fast. It needs a quality of speed and spontaneity. And like, I appreciate that a lot, because I think that's actually very true, that you need to he talks about capturing energy, like capturing the energy in the stroke, which I 100% agree with. All right. Let's hope that we can I'm going to drop the opacity down out of my there we go. The more I look at it, the more I think I placed my horse's forelegs a little too far forward. Horses aren't easy to draw, and then drawing the horse in a down shot makes it tough. Okay. I went over my dialogue, and I thought it was important to make sure everyone understood that the nun wasn't the ghost, even though I do have her kind of glowing. Because it's a night scene. I also want to show that she's not supernatural, but she's like a holy presence. All right. It's a down shot. We're not going to see Malvolio's face. We just see his hat from above. We're going to see these teeth things here. All right. This arm is completely off camera. There's belt number 1. And the gun belt. And we're getting somewhere. It's close. We're not where we need to be yet. Second wall. Let's make sure he's got his spurs on. All right. Okay. Especially once we add in these shadows, I think this is going to look pretty good. And the shadows we're probably going to do... Well, I'm not sure if I want to do them with a holding line or without a holding line. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of System Maria in. Bring up a reference. And for reference, we're always going to reference back to the exact thing that we just previously drew, if we can get away with it. Oh, and unfortunately I don't even have that. Okay, so I gotta actually take a picture of it. So if we go to here, we want to make sure our reference matches this hood piece right here. So we're going to take this and share it. JPEG. Save image. So that when we bring in our imported image, I mean, it's at a different angle, we can kind of see, you know, what this hood is supposed to look like. And I think I drew it about right. She's also being shown in a sort of down shot. I think she's still carrying a lantern. Let's say she moved the lantern to her other hand. Well, I'm gonna have to redraw that. I'll have to get a reference of a lantern so I can make sure I'm doing it correctly.